Hey guys, what's up? Jordan Arell here, making my daily video on circumcision. First day with the new setup. Got my ring light, got a new white backdrop, new mic. We'll get a new stand for this because right now I can't really use my hands. It's really constricting. But other than that, I'm really excited about it. Today I just want to go over something that is something I haven't quite formulated, which I do sometimes with these videos, is really explaining something to myself, trying to counsel myself. And that is the importance of having heroes and the importance of people around you who influence you in intactivist work or in work on anything, really. Because I've noticed as I'm currently doing this podcast with Brendan Marotta, so I'm studying him, I'm researching his film, looking at different interviews he's done, and as I do that, I get a lot of inspiration, I get a lot of ideas, I get a lot of new sort of mindsets that rub off on me from the way that he sees the world, the way that he sees this issue, the approaches he has, the values he has. And Brendan is my favorite activist. I don't know if I call him an activist, but favorite voice on this subject. And so it's really a pleasure to do that. And I suppose that is partly deliberately why I chose him for this podcast. But I'd like to, really do that more in the future. Choose guests based on who I want to inspire me, and also choose the friends around me, the Intactivists that I talk to, really intentionally reaching out to those who I want to influence me. Had the great pleasure of James Lowen commenting on my last video. For those of you who don't know, James Lowen, he's the Bonobo 3D channel on YouTube. Some of the best stuff ever created on the topic. One of the first and best, probably the first person to really cover this issue in detail as a filmographer, videographer. I don't know what the proper term is. But he's great, and was really, really honored that he appreciated my review. Since I'm kind of just starting out here, just trying to find my way through. And, he's someone who I really value his approach. His interviews with Brendan Marotta have been absolutely invaluable to me because they're the best. And just the way that he brings things out of people, makes me want to study him more, want to understand him better, and really appreciate his take on this topic and how we'll win. There's a lot. There's so many. Marilyn Milos is another. Eric Klopper is one who's inspired me a lot in the past. Vincenzo Aiello, the fact that he's trying to really solve this issue in a way, at least, for men who are missing that part of the body. But there's so many. Brian Earp is brilliant in his understanding of the philosophy behind the issue. Anthony Lasquardo on his marketing approaches. It's endless. There's probably 100 of them, but there's so many people you can start to follow, start to listen to, start to understand, and look up all of the material that they have. I'm just one voice, and I have some insights, I think, but I'm learning, and the best way to learn is really to both focus on yourself. I'll say that's also important, focusing on my own development, my own ideas. How do I see this? What's my unique take? What's my unique contribution based on my own experience? But then also, what are other people's contributions? What can I learn from them? What skills can I gain from the protesters, from Brother K and that whole group? What can I learn about the deeper philosophy of it? What can I learn about, say, I'm I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. It's really late. I was going to think more about this video to make it more coherent, but I'm just too tired and I have to make it and go to bed. But there's so many different people who you can learn from, and also people who you have in your own personal group of friends you might talk to all the time. One of mine is a friend, Lawrence, who's a local activist here in Colorado. He's so fun to talk to. He's always has ideas about stuff, and we'll talk for hours, and it's great to have someone who's that willing, that passionate about this, and always has a different idea, a different perspective. Jillian Longley has been really great, just so kind, and always reaching out, always asking if I need a ride with her to the next thing, if there's anything else she can do to help. She's been very helpful. She actually helped me meet Brendan Murata, for one thing. And it just makes me think, who else do I want to spend more time with? Who do I want to maybe message, call up sometime, just holla at? Jessica Rigdon was our first guest on the podcast. I haven't talked to her in a while. There's some people at Forge and who I just haven't made the time to chat with because I'm busy. But there's a lot of brilliant people at Forge, and so many great people in the movement that I just forget about. And it's like, it's first seeking those people out if you haven't done that yet. Would highly recommend. There's different, those people I mentioned are good ones. There's people in Facebook groups. Pretty much anyone who's involved in this issue that you find anywhere, you can reach out to them and make a connection. Whoever's inspired you, whoever's website has affected you, find that person's contact info and reach out to them, because they're so accessible, and most of them, if they're still involved in the issue, some burn out and can't do it anymore, but the ones who are still here are passionate and will usually talk with you, and it's so helpful to talk with people on this. That's really what makes the change, is getting those skills, being able to talk about this more easily developed, and learning from others how they make a change. Looking at the people who really are taking action, who are really having an effect on the world, who really inspire you, who really help you understand this, and then learning from those people, and doing whatever we can to teach each other, and then teach others too. It's also about, how can I educate people around me who I can level up, who might not know as much as me, or who I can add value to in some way, and really taking the time with them to show them as much as I can, and help them be more effective, help them have the ideas, the skill sets, the things that could really cause them to be able to make to transform this issue, to transform people. And I gotta go to sleep, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. See you then.